Now you will see, if you try to apply this concept in your daily life and ask yourself, is this a +1 or a -1? You will notice that sometimes this question is even painful because we tend to hide away in between, as if like this doesn't really matter. But if you ask this pointed question, like, is it a +1 or a -1? You will notice that many times you catch what would otherwise be a -1, and you see with clarity, like, you know what, this wouldn't serve me. Okay, so tip number 3 is to start small. We talked about the 3 elements of habit building: cue, action, and reward. The second one, action, right? It's the habit you want to create. The one that will be a step forward towards your aspirations, towards your goals. Now, the biggest mistake people make is starting too big. If you have been meditating half an hour 3 times a week and you want to build a daily habit, do not start with half an hour every day. It is going to be tough and you will likely give up. Instead, you start with the intention that I'm going to do 5 minutes every day. And if I want, I can continue after the phone has ding. I can continue after the bell if I want to and do half an hour. But I am committing to 5 minutes no matter what. Start small. That makes it easier. Because when you start small, there's something that, what's his name? Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, considered one of the fathers of positive psychology. He calls the activation energy of habits. The more difficult is your habit, the more activation energy will be required, the more willpower will be required. So if you start small and you grow gradually, you're not requiring a lot of energy, you're not requiring a lot of willpower. And by the time you begin to grow your habit, then by that time it has become easier as well. So this is the smoother path, so to speak. So if you want to meditate an hour, start with 15 minutes. Want to meditate 20, start with 3. If you want to start bigger, which is an option, being aware of this difficulty, you can, but at least you define what I call the minimal action. So there's the ideal action and the minimal action. The ideal action is how much you want to do. I would like to exercise an hour every day. Great. That's your ideal action. Now, what is your minimum action? For the days that you feel tired, that you don't feel like doing it, that you're doubting that this is working, that you are telling yourself an excuse, that you're too busy, that you have had a tiring day. In those days, instead of having 0, right? What is the minimal action you're going to take, even in those days? Okay, 10 minutes, great. So this is a concept I call never 0, that you decide your minimal action and you will never have a 0 day. If one day you can't do your full practice, at least you default to the minimum practice, not to no practice. And like this, you keep your momentum going. You don't break the chain. And of course, you don't expect that in the days where you're doing the minimal action, you don't feel like doing it, etc. You don't expect to have an amazing meditation. Right? You know that you're going through the motions, but at least you're keeping the practice alive. So minimum action is there to make it easier for you, to keep the momentum no matter what. We've talked about this. So some examples. If you want to read 20 pages of a book every day, minimum action could be read 3 pages. Meditate for half an hour, meditate for 5 minutes. Run for an hour, run for 20 minutes. Finish your to-do list. That's a big one. We all want to finish our to-do list for the day. Maybe is follow up. Oh, this is wrong. Follow up with 3 items. Practice my 5 best songs on the guitar. Practice my favorite song, just one. Take a 10-minute break every 2 hours. That's ambitious. Take a 5-minute break or a 1-minute break every 2 hours. Clean up the whole house. I mean, no wonder we feel like procrastinating when that's how we're framing the action we want to take. Instead, minimal action, just put the dishes in the dishwasher. And I may feel like doing more, but at the very least, I'm going to do this.
We provide you with the certification and the credentials you need to teach mindfulness in professional settings. I invite you to check out our webpage, at teach.mindfulnessexercises.com to learn more about the program, and I look forward to seeing you on the inside.